once you've batch processed your photographs to sort out typical problems like color saturation and tone, you can then start to work on the individual needs of each shot. Before we start going into the standard Photoshop editor, I'm just going to tweak this shot that we didn't touch because it has a different problem to the other images. There's a lot of black there, so we don't need to boost the blacks on that, but what we do need to do is up the overall exposure. So let's just do that by dragging exposure up a little bit until it starts to clip on the highlights of the girl's face. Something like 0.6 should do. There's just a hint of clipping there, but that gives an overall better exposure to the shot, and we still have some very healthy black levels there, so we don't need to make the same edits. And you can see that all of the shots have been edited now. There's a little icon there to show that they've all been tweaked, and we've saved all of these as DNG files, so we could close things now and open up those DNG files, but we'd still end up in the raw editor, so we may as well just go and choose all of our shots and open them up in the standard editor. And we're now going to create new versions of the images, but they're at their best that they can be so far. We've not added any artifacts to them. There's no color noise, things that you would normally get when you work in the standard editor. You manage to avoid when you're using the raw editor, so that's why it's good to polish your shots up here first before dealing with them as individuals. Okay, so let's click on Open Images, and here we'll go into the standard normal editor, and then we can start looking at cropping, color correction, things like that. It's just bringing them in to the photo bin, and we're seeing a before and after, which of course there's no difference at the moment because we haven't started to tweak them in the standard editor. But here are our shots, and we're in the quick edit mode at the moment, but we're going to go to full edit, so make sure that you've got that clicked, and you'll still see the photo bin there, but you can look at the shots one by one and edit them accordingly. So let's take a look at our individual source files here. We've got problems with each file. It's got its own unique problems. For example, let's take our camel. Double click on that. Let's go to View and then Fit on Screen to get that larger, and then View and go to New Window, and that gives you a nice full work area there, so you don't get distracted by the clutter in the background. Now we've improved this shot's colour and its tone. We've got blacker shadows here now, and the contrast is much better, but it could do with a little bit of improvement in the composition side. So let's just move that toolbar out of the way for the moment, and you can see here this guy is kind of cluttering up the background there, and it doesn't have such an exotic look to it now with a tourist wandering by. So we can crop him out quite easily by selecting the crop tool, and what you can do is you can just crop it freehand. But if you're going to have an album full of photos, you want them to all have the same ratio. So Escape will undo that for the moment, and I can actually then just use the photo ratio so that the crop tool will stay at the same size as the actual photograph itself, which means it'll fit in to a collection of other photographs. If I wanted to print it, of course, and wanted to create a 5x7, then I could actually resize the image as I crop using this option here, which is another nice way if you're going to get a hard copy of your print. But in this case, use photo ratio will do, and you can see the size of the photo there and the resolution. It's not going to change the resolution at all this time. And then click and drag, and as I click and drag, it is constrained to fit the actual image. Now what I'll do is I'll go to about here because I want to keep the camel's feet, but I think what I'd like to do is just move it down a little bit and have a little less sky and a little bit more foreground. The sky is still dominant, but we've still got a fairly nice composition there, but we're losing the guy on the far right. Let me just shrink that in a little bit more. I don't want to chop the bottom of the barrel off. I want it to look deliberate. And we've still got a hint of sky around the edge of this landmark. So there is my cropped version. If I'm happy with that, click the tick. If I want to change it, I could always hit escape or resize it. But I'm going to commit to that. And here is the cropped version. It's much cleaner now, and we've lost the chap there. Now when you're viewing an image as a whole, you sometimes can miss important details like this little chap here. So if we just click on the zoom tool and then just click and drag, we can see, if I hit tab to get rid of the floating windows, there's a lad leaning into my carefully framed photo. So let's go back to fit screen. Let's get the crop tool again by pressing C, and let's just click and select the whole image and then drag it in, probably from the top left here, because we're just cropping out a bit of the sky in that corner there to lose the lad. There we go, and we've still got the barrel showing up in the foreground. That's quite nice. Gives a little bit more symmetry. There's a bit of a line here now between the barrel, through the chain to the camel, and the geological feature. So I'm going to hit return to apply the change, and we've fine-tuned our cropped image like so.